Hey guys, today we'll be doing a stat breakdown for Josh Emmett vs Ilia Topuria, including records, strike accuracy, knockdowns, wrestling, my predictions, and much more. So let's get into it. Josh Emmett has a UFC record of 9 wins and 3 losses, whereas Topuria is undefeated in the UFC with 5 wins. Comparing win-loss ratios, we can see Topuria's is obviously undefined since he has 0 wins, and Josh Emmett's is still quite high at 3. To gauge the quality of opponents these fighters have faced, let's look at the combined record of their opponents. Emmett's opponents have a record of 103 wins and 82 losses in the UFC, whereas Topuria's opponents have a combined record of 21 wins and 12 losses in the UFC. Comparing these win-loss ratios, we can see Topuria's is significantly higher, indicating that on average he has faced better opponents than Emmett. Looking at win methods in the UFC, despite being known for his power, Emmett has only 3 of his 9 wins by KO, and the remainder coming by decision, whereas Topuria has already amassed a massive 3 KOs in the UFC, as well as 1 decision and 1 submission. Looking at loss methods for Josh Emmett, it's a mixed bag with 1 decision, 1 KO, and 1 submission, whereas Topuria has not yet lost in his UFC career. Comparing the striking stats for these fighters, Topuria has a moderately higher striking accuracy and a slightly higher striking defense, whilst Emmett is significantly more active on the feet than Topuria. Looking at striking accuracy for Emmett, earlier in his career it was extremely low, however in recent times it's been significantly higher, although it is decreasing as he's faced better opponents. Looking at Emmett's opponent's significant strike accuracy, when it's greater than 42%, he has 2 wins and 3 losses, noting that Topuria averages a strike accuracy of 49%. If we look at the significant strike differential for Emmett, we can see he's been outstruck in his past 3 fights. However, he has won decisions based on throwing more power punches that the judges classify as more damaging. Whether I agree with this, I don't really, especially against Keita, but it's the way it was judged. Looking at Topuria's striking accuracy, it was lower in his first fight, although this was due to the majority of the fight being wrestling, and it's evident that it's been much higher ever since then. Looking at his opponent's significant strike accuracy, we can see Topuria has extraordinary strike defense and has held his opponents below 35% striking accuracy on 3 different occasions. And it's worth noting that Ryan Hall had a high strike accuracy, but only because he landed 10 strikes throughout the fight. Looking at the significant strike differential for Topuria, he's been outstruck twice, but only by 3 strikes or less. And in his first fight, he had 482 seconds of control time with 5 takedowns, so he did not get beat in any meaningful way. Looking at knockdowns for Emmett, we can see he has an enormous 11 knockdowns in 12 fights. However, he's only finished 3 of 7 fights in which he landed a knockdown. Emmett's only been knocked down once in his 12 UFC fights, indicating he has a good chin and/or good striking defense. On the other hand, Ilia Topuria has landed knockdowns in 60% of fights and has a 100% finish rate with a knockdown. Topuria has been knocked down once by Jai Herbert, showing potential holes in his defense. However, this was likely due to the huge height and reach disadvantage, which he adjusted to in the second round, finishing the fight with a knockout. Comparing the grappling stats for each of these fighters, Topuria has an advantage around the board. He has more than double the takedowns attempted per 15 minutes, a slightly higher takedown accuracy, a significantly higher takedown defense, and an enormous 2.5 submissions attempted per 15 minutes. Looking at takedowns for Emmett, he has landed takedowns in 4 of 12 UFC fights, despite attempting a takedown in 8 fights. He did, however, land an enormous 8 of 12 takedowns on Holtzman. If we look at takedowns conceded for Emmett, he has only been taken down in 3 of 12 fights, although only 1 opponent has attempted a takedown on him in his last 8 fights, which was Dan Ige, who landed 1 from only 4 takedowns. Although, Ige's career takedown percentage is only 26%, so I'm somewhat skeptical of Emmett's takedown defense. Topuria, on the other hand, has landed a takedown in every fight which he has an attempt, although generally his takedown percentage is quite low. Topuria also has only been taken down in 1 fight, which he ended up winning by submission. I don't think it's wise of Emmett to shoot for a takedown unless he's in some serious trouble. Looking at control time for Emmett, he gets significant control time in each fight he lands a takedown, indicating he can hold an opponent down when he lands one. Looking at takedowns conceded by Emmett, he's only been controlled in 1 fight, and in other fights when he's been taken down, he has not been held down. So it's looking like this fight will mostly take place on the feet. Looking at control time for Topuria, He has 70 plus seconds of control time in 4 of 5 UFC fights and averages 107 seconds of control time per takedown landed. Looking at Topuria's opponent's control time, he has never been held down in a bad position. The first fight was all clinch control time, and against Mitchell he was taken down at the end of the round and conceded no damage. To summarise the important points in this fight, Emmett is 2 wins and 3 losses when his opponents strike at an accuracy of 42% or greater, and Topuria averages 49% accuracy in his UFC career. Emmett has an enormous 11 knockdowns in 12 UFC fights, and Topuria was knocked down by Jai Herbert. Lastly, Emmett has conceded only 1 takedown in his past 8 fights, whereas Topuria has a takedown defense of 92%, so it seems this fight will be standing for the most part. So based on these stats, my predictions for this fight are either Josh Emmett manages to catch Topuria early with a big shot and puts him out in round 1, since 2 of his 3 KOs have been in round 1. Or, on the other hand, Topuria managed to evade Emmett's big shots early and lands accurate strikes of his own, breaking him down and winning by TKO in round 2, noting Emmett has only been finished in round 2 and Topuria has 2 of 3 finishes in round 2. That's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do all the good things, and I'll see you guys later.